So if you check my channel, you will be able to see a very easy explanation of how this is done. Okay, so this is my Huntsman. Obviously it's got quite a bit of extra shit slapped on and about it. So the most important thing when it comes to making a basic build like this is hide important components. So if you see underneath mine, I've got a big ass gap in the middle of the frame. Oh, if you press up on the D-pad, it lifts it up and down. There. So at the front, I've got 2x4. And I've got two 1x8s coming back off of it, but you might not have 1x8s, so you might have to use four 1x4s. It's probably because you've got a part on the floor somewhere. Yeah, so like this is the front of mine. So I've got the 2x4 at the very front, and then I've got, leaving a gap in the middle, I've got single frames going backwards. Yeah, I mean I'm currently using two 1x8s, but I don't think you're gonna have 1x8s yet, so you can use one. Yeah, if you've got two of them, slap them on going back. And then that gives you space to hide your fuel tank and a radiator underneath. And that is basic 101 of how to hide components so they don't get destroyed. Build them inside your frame, and then you slap your cab on top so you've got decent protection. Well, I've got mine pretty lengthy because I've got more stuff hidden in the back of the pickup. So after my two 1x8s, I've then got a 4x4. And then on the very front, I do also have, I believe it's a 1x6, which basically just carries the bumper for the extra front protection. So that's your basic frame, and then you slap the Huntsman on top, right up to the front edge. Yeah. Yeah, so it's right up to the front edge like this. Yeah. So that's you can see there where the 1x6 comes out from the 1x4, and it sits right on the front there. Yeah, because the cab is actually 6 wide. So if you've got medium tyres, go for medium wheels. Because then, as you see at the back here, it gives you just enough room to have these fenders on, and it makes just the perfect pickup. Wheels I tend to ignore until I'm done with the cab and the frame, but yeah, that's what your front axle should look like. Yeah. And then when it comes to the, well, you should have these the van fenders. So you can slap that right on the back right there, and it literally just makes the perfect pickup body. Alright, so then this is roughly what you... Get rid of that distracting shit in the background. Alright. So this is roughly what your back end is going to look like. Yeah, so that's roughly what your back end's going to look like, or pretty much. So then in here, again, you can put any, more radiators that you have to slow down your overheating of your weapons and all that shit. Because what I've done in here is I've put for the back, I've got these van sides, 2 of them slapped in the back for me, because I've got this big motherfucker, the radiator in there. You won't have one of these yet. Yeah, you'll have smaller radiators, which is... Oh no, that's my cooler. Yeah. The Breeze, I think yours is. Oh, you've got the R2 chill. Sick. Get that in the back right there. You see where mine is? Triangle and square. It's like turn it around and then flip it over. So you're going to have pretty much the same build as mine, which I think personally is a very good one. You're just missing a couple of extra armor pieces. Yeah, nice. And then you see how I've got these van sides. Yeah. That just gives you extra protection. Anti-penetration from the rear. Yeah, solid build this. Solid. And then on... I do indeed. I've got a bumper on the back, which you may just see appear there. I mean, you can worry about all these final extras once you're done with the basics. So I've got one of these big bad boys, the van door, which fits literally just effing perfectly on top of the lot. The big, like, rear double doors. So if you flip them around a bit and get them laid on top. And then this should be what we've got going on so far. So then now you should be able to plonk your wheels on. Yeah, sweet. And then, depending on what bumpers and sort of frontal and rear protection you have, you can add accordingly. But I've gone for spikes on the front, obviously for maximum ram damage. And then on the back I've just gone for straight up protection, so I've got the bumper catch and an off-road bumper on the back. You might have to spin them round. Right. And this should be what we have so far. You managed to get your bumpers on okay? Yeah, like front and rear bumpers, when you want to put them on, like if you want to put a front bumper on the back, it's automatically facing the wrong way, so you have to flip it around. What is it you're having troubles with? What is it, the rear, is it? So you can't put... Is it you can't put... You can't put this piece on? Yeah, so you got to make sure, for me, it's the only reason I put that back bumper on was to cover the frame here, so as long as the frame is flush with these back fenders. Oh, you haven't got the 1x6 at the front? Right, with you. But yeah, the 1x6 for me was sort of key to having the extra ramming at the front. Have you not got a 1x6 piece? Take the wheels off, then put it on, and then put the wheels back on. Yeah, because the main thing is the Huntsman cabin is 6 wide as well, so I wanted the full support of the front. Well, at least you can get the big off-road bumper on there, can't you? So that's pretty much all you're going for, is the extra protection. So next up would really be the weapon mounting. Now, my build is currently packing 2 Vectors, as you can see here, the guns that you're going for next. Right, so 1 Vector, how many, right, so this is where how many weapons you have comes into how many radiators and things like that you have stacked on. So how many Breeze radiators have you got on it? 2. Alright, yeah, so you got the chill. Have you got a cooler? The cooler looks a lot like the little Breeze radiator. But it's blue. I mean, like a blue part, I mean, not actually blue. Yeah, so the CS Timer, it's spelt weird, but the CS Tamer cooler, that is what you want to build next, because the chill along with that cooler saves you a lot of extra parts when it comes to slowing down your overheating and speeding up your cooldown. Yeah, because I run the chill radiator in the back of the pickup, and I've got the cooler underneath here, as you can just about see, and then I've got the fuel tank in the back. So that gives you maximum overheat cooldown and a fuel tank for this low power score build. Perfect combination. So, okay, so what kind of pointage does that give us? So you've only got 3. Okay. So I suppose perfect ideal weapon choice realistically would be sledgehammer shotgun to go up front if you have a sledgehammer. Okay. Because the cords only have 2 energy points, but obviously we don't have any more energy to spare. So ideally you want another weapon with 3 energy points. Do you have... oh no, that's 4, never mind. Yeah, this is why I said when you very first start, you want to make sure that you're doing all your dailies just to keep hoarding scrap, because when you get to this stage when you can make stuff, you just never have enough, if you know what I mean. So always do, if you always do your dailies and then try and do like a few extra missions just to fucking gather scrap, hoard the shit out of it, because when it comes to building, ideally you have a back stock. Because me, I just went into it stupid. I was like throwing stuff around willy-nilly, picking it apart, thinking yeah, and then I got to the build stage and I was like, now I've got to grind my ass off to get all this stuff back again to actually build some decent shit. So the ideal weapon to go on the front of this would be either another Vector or a sledgehammer shotgun, which you can get from the Maniacs. But as you with the Nomads, just get 2 Vectors because you're going to want 2 of them anyway. But for the meantime, you can slap a cord on the front of it, and then the next key thing, once you've got your guns on top, is this: mounting fenders around guns for protection. There you go. Alright. Yeah. Doing a stream for Em so she can see how I do builds on Crossout. So you know the van fenders that we got on the back. You want to get more of those and place them thusly. Yeah. Because that gives you a decent protection on your weapons when people start trying to destroy them. So once you got the fenders on the front to cover it, you don't necessarily need to worry about protection from the top gun from the back, but I did obviously take it to that level. But the next thing is side armor. Now these big old hench parts that I've got on here, you won't have yet. But ideally, you're looking at that kind of coverage. You know, just cover as much of what's visible as you can. Basically, it's up to you whether you want to try and make it look pretty or just slap a load of shit on and make it functional. But yeah, anything you can put on the sides to give you maximum coverage, basically. I've got a few various parts, so I was able to make it kind of good looking-ish, maybe. Coupled with a paint job. Yeah, it's just kind of like a moving armoured bunker on wheels. Yeah. But yeah, solid build at a very low power score, I must say. I've been extremely impressed with its performance. But I mean, like, you saw me the other night with 2 shotguns on this thing, and I just rolled up and destroyed anything that I came across. So, you know. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's a solid build, and as long as you've got the right firepower on it, you're just gonna shit on people. Yeah. All reliable. That's what you're gonna end up calling this. Because no matter what else you build, you're gonna end up coming back to this for a fucking win. Because what I've done is I've put these big ass sloping things on the back as well, just to give me extra coverage from the rear. It's all just very angular, very stacked up armour, all with solid build points. So it requires a good amount of firepower to strip your parts. Oh, she says, I like it when they strip me parts. But yeah, I mean, the good thing about it is you've got plenty of weight limit to work with as well, so as long as you're not worried about being too fast, you can just keep slapping bits on it and bits on it here and there, so that it makes it more of a tank. And this is what I've ended up with. Yours may look a little different, but yeah. I got so many parts now, I can start sort of like making stuff look consistent with the curves and the angles, so once you can start making stuff look pretty. In fact, speaking of which, let's be a weapon and just slap a couple more bits in there. Just because it looks better. Oh. Tony just has an orgasm. Squeeze one of these in here as well, just to be funky. Don't like look at that. And there we have it. That is my, at the moment, well currently, my lowest power score build, which is 2129 power score. But the durability, its health points, is 844, which is not bad for a low score build. And that is how I trudged through some motherfuckers in the earlier stages.